The Steam Summer Sale is back, and you know what that means. Here's some weird games on sale that I think more people should play. Alisa completely mastered the PS1 aesthetic to the point where it looks like it could have actually been released in the 90s. It's a game made by Casper Crowe that takes place in a dollhouse underground. This game takes heavy inspiration from the old Resident Evil games, mainly the first two. You're a cop that's sent to look for stolen files, and you stumble into this old creepy dollhouse place. For some reason, the fucked up people that built this place put puzzles everywhere to stop you at every turn. But the puzzles are really good. There's the first one with the blocks, the sheep thing, the penis thing, the party hats. All the puzzles feel fair, except the sheep one. Aesthetically, this game is like a masterpiece. Each area is really distinct and it has a really unique vibe. What other game takes place in an underground dollhouse with a circus, underwater museum thing, a church, a garden made of metal? Alisa does a good job at throwing new things at you. Most enemies in this game only appear in like a room or two. It feels more natural that way. This little guy loves his tricycle. It takes tropes from old survival horror games and gives them a fun twist, like this giant doll thing that will randomly chase you whenever you enter a room. And it's kind of similar to Nemesis. It gives you the feeling that they could show up at any time and it keeps you on your toes. The boss fights in this game are hit or miss. Alisa being a survival horror game never makes you feel overconfident. Boss fights come down to the wire, but I think it's a pretty sweet balance that most survival horror games thrive in. You will have better luck with the boss fights by managing your tooth wheels. What the hell is a tooth wheel? It's this little gear thing that this guy invented that's keeping all the dolls alive. You get them by killing the dolls. But how do you kill the dolls? With the weapons you buy with the tooth wheels from this guy. This leads to the possibility of soft locking yourself if you run out of ammo and tooth wheels, but it's a very fun system to balance. The soundtrack to this game is incredible. It fits really well. It was made by Casper Crowe's wife, who also voices Alisa.
I was almost a sandwich.
The music goes with the visuals really well. One of the tracks stood out to me, so I went to go find it on YouTube. It has this little heartbeat sounding flute thing and it plays in a room with this mannequin. I can't take this thing seriously because of where they put the crank. I pointed it out in the comments of the YouTube video and Casper himself replied to me saying that I was the first one to notice that. I've really peaked here. Battle Block Theater is a game made by the Behemoth, the Castle Crashers guy, and oh no. Oh no. In this game, your friend Hattie is kidnapped and taken to a theater, where you're forced to go through this sadistic cat game show thing in order to save him. It's like a puzzle platformer that reminds me of Mario Maker 2, in the way that it feels like the developers just wanted to make a level editor and then just made a game out of it. This game thrives in its silly presentation. The enemies are evil cats. This duck shark thing that is also the hat in my profile picture is there. There's a raccoon with antlers. The cutscenes are really fun too and just radiate joy. This whole game kind of prioritizes being funny, which works like 90% of the time. Sometimes the narrator gets annoying during gameplay, but you can turn that off. Sometimes they rely a little too much on the randomest funny humor that was really popular at the time.
Hit it! Buckle your pants! Buckle your pants! Pull up your socks and dance!
This is the last cutscene you see in the game. They were not taking this shit seriously. Which is really kind of what's fun about this game. Just playing it with friends and not taking it seriously. Broken Reality is really cool game that looks like this. This game is kind of itching to scratch while waiting for Ina's Dream Barbecue to come out. It's a game where you go around and solve puzzles with a bunch of weird items. You get tools like a like button, a katana, an infinite credit card, this mouse teleport thing, another teleport thing, a camera. It's all really cool. Your ultimate goal is to get a bunch of likes and go to new areas to get more likes. All the environments in this game are stunning and the game introduces all the items that you use for puzzles really well. It's almost like a Metroidvania style for the first level where you get them all. And later on in the game, you use the items in a different way to solve puzzles. This game is also getting a VR sequel soon, which I'm super excited about, but I have no idea when that's releasing. Charlie Murder. It's a wild 2D beat 'em up game. I don't know how to describe this game properly, so I'm just gonna tell you what happens in it. This guy named Charlie accidentally records the moment he realizes he can sing. Kind of. His jealous bandmate makes a deal with Satan to get magic powers and burns down the concert venue Charlie's performing at, which actually kills the entire crew except for whatever character you pick. The rest of the game is you making your way to hell to beat up the jealous band member. On the way to hell, you go through a zombie-infested city, fight ninjas in a bar, get attacked by a school bus, brew your own alcohol made out of zombie parts, get magic tattoos, birth and kill a hamburger homunculus, fight witches on a magic broom flying over a graveyard. And that's the first hour. The game has a ton of fun mechanics like the phone letting you take pictures of QR codes around the game, and it gives you free items or more followers. I love stuff like that. There's also like the clothing mechanic that boosts your stats depending on what you wear. This game is similar to Castle Crashers and other beat 'em up games, but it introduces a bunch of new things that I haven't really seen in any other game. The online is kind of buggy, so play it locally if you can. Hypnospace Outlaw. I have been obsessed with this game for the past few days. It's like a simulation of old 90s internet where you play as a volunteer enforcer that has to search the hypnospace for content that falls under a chine. Copyright, harassment, illegal, malware, extra illegal scam things. They somehow made a game out of going down a rabbit hole of some weird topic you found online. This game has hidden web pages, hacker sites, and Chowder Man. Raise your hand if you expected this to be one of the saddest stories in the game. That's right, put your hand down. This game builds such a unique experience. It really does feel like there are other people making these sites. Like in the first puzzle of the game, you're tasked with finding copyrighted material on this little fish guy. But when searching him up, only one web page appears. Abby's a lady who runs a sort of graveyard in Hypnospace and is also a first grade teacher. They made the goddamn first mission in this game, taking down a bunch of children's art because of copyright laws. Holy shit. Later on, this starts the fish revolution. You can also search her name and find people making art for her to see, and take that down too. But I didn't do that because I already felt too bad at that point. The game makes you feel like there's people on the other side of the screen. They're way more complex than how they present themselves. In the second puzzle, you found out that this little troublemaker Zane has been mean to the people of Teentopia, one of the areas you can explore in the game. He has a dedicated hate page, oh my god. During the investigation on Zane, you find out that he has a girlfriend who loves him very much. But then you find out that she's not even real. You don't really have to solve the puzzles either. Instead, you can just mess around and download helpers and backgrounds and desktop themes, random images. Hey,
Professor
no,
Helper here.
Stop,
Need some
stop.
help?
Jet Island is the most freeing experience you can get out of VR. It's this huge island with 5 bosses to defeat. You're just thrown in with your hoverboard, grappling hook, rocket arms, and gun. Exploring the island, you can find little drones and mini bosses. When you beat them, they give you upgrades to your current gear. But I think it's more fun just to swing around and go as fast as I can while listening to music. This game has a great sense of freedom. You're expected to beat all the bosses, but 3 of them are underground and you can just ignore them. But one of them is, oh my god! There's this giant flying thing in the sky, and beating it pretty much means you have to unlock every single upgrade to even have a chance. It doesn't really attack you. I mean, it does have spikes on it, and touching them makes you restart. It's kind of like the final challenge you're tasked with, to test your movement skills and all the things you've learned up to this point. The game is always teaching you new movement techniques with these little obstacles that litter the map. They're so much fun to find. You're pretty much Spider-Man with a hoverboard in space. What more can I say? It's fun. Before I tell you about the top game on my list, here's some honorable mentions that aren't as weird, but they're still really good games that you should check out. Garten of Banban is a